everyone, welcome back. Welcome to the Hungry Expat. Now today we're going to be looking at a curry with a difference. We're going to be looking at a chicken madras on the bone. We're going to be doing it in two stages. We're going to do the BIR style and then there's a second stage. Believe me, if you can persevere with this, it takes a little bit longer, but the results are well worth it, and I can promise you that the chicken will fall off the bone. This will be a very enjoyable curry. So let's show you the ingredients. Okay, so for our chicken madras on the bone, first of all, again, I'm going to make 3 portions here. So I've got 3 chicken legs. Give them a bit of a stab. Put a few holes in it so that later on when we're doing a kind of marinade, the flavour will infuse a lot better. We have garlic and ginger paste, about 1.5 tablespoons. Again, tomato puree, 1.5 tablespoons. Medium to large size tomato, and for those of you that like a bit of lime in your madras, a lime we're going to squeeze in as well. I've put 3 teaspoons of hot chili powder here. If you don't like your madras that hot, put 2, but remember this is for 3 portions. Here are the seeds of 4 cardamom pods. Okay. Here we have half a teaspoon of turmeric with some ground black pepper. Here 2 teaspoons of coriander, 1.5 teaspoons of cumin seeds, and here 2 teaspoons of madras curry powder and 1 teaspoon of masala powder. Masala powder is optional, that's up to you. And I'm going to use olive oil for my first part, and we're going to put some salt in as well. Finally, our base gravy, which we're going to be adding as we cook. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, let's get started. So we're going to put the olive oil, or whatever oil you want in there. Good 5 tablespoons in there. Let it heat up a bit on a high heat. Going to test it with a little bit of ginger garlic paste. Oh yes, there you go, that's pretty quick. Right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to add the ginger and garlic paste first. And turn that down a tad, don't need a burn. Ginger garlic paste. Just let this cook a little bit, infuse into the oil. Then I'm going to put the tomato puree. As with the vindaloo, both the puree and the ginger garlic paste is homemade. Infuse those together now. Next, I'm going to put the cardamom seeds in. Always use cardamom seeds in curries, it gives it a nice essence. Then basically the powders are going to go in now. First of all, I'm going to put the chili powder in. Give it a bit of a stir. This is going to turn into a bit of a paste now. Next I'm putting in the cumin and the coriander powders. See how it's getting nice and thick. And the turmeric and the black pepper. Apparently, to get the health benefits from turmeric, you need to mix it with black pepper. That's what I've been told. But I'm not a scientist, so... Okay. Now, the Madras powder and the masala powder. As you can see, we've got a very, very thick pasty all up in here. Excuse me. Give it a really good stir. Let those spices infuse. Now while that's just sizzling away, I've got my base gravy, which you can't see on the left hand side, and I'm going to start adding base gravy to it. Okay. So I'm just going to give it another stir. Now again, I'm going to use the full portion of the base gravy, so I'm going to add a couple of ladles first. And again, I've mixed a bit of water into my base gravy, just to loosen it up a little bit. Notice we've not put any chicken in yet. First of all, we're just making the curry sauce. A bit more base gravy there. Now what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to add, this wasn't an ingredient, but I'm just going to add a little bit of sugar. Excuse me, it's really smell those spices now. And some more base gravy. Now we want this to be quite a nice loose consistency because it's going to actually be going in the oven at some point, but not yet. So there we go. I'm going to put the rest of the base gravy in now. Sizzling away. Now once those spices have had a bit of time to infuse, that's all we need really now. So what's going to happen now, I'm going to turn this off, and then I will show you the next stage of what we do. Now just before we go, you can see the oil rising to the top here, which is a sign that the curry is ready. So I'm going to leave it there now, and I'll show you in the next stage what we do next. See you soon. Okay, so we've done our curry mix for the Madras. Now we're going to go on to the next stage. Now, got the chicken pieces in a casserole dish here. Just going to drizzle a bit of salt on there. I'm going to cut a lemon. I'm only going to use half a lemon because it's not vindaloo, it's Madras. I'm just going to squeeze some lemon juice onto that chicken. Then we're just going to remove some of those pips that fell out. Okay, now I'm going to go and I'm going to get the curry sauce, which we made earlier. As you can see, it's nice and thick, and the curry sauce now is going over the chicken. Let's get every bit of that goodness out of there. Let's get all that Madras out and into this Pirates dish. Okay. Now, just going to give it a bit of a move round. So what's going to happen now, is that the chicken pieces now are just going to marinate in here. I'm going to leave this overnight. You can leave it for just 2 or 3 hours if you like. And then what we're going to do, once the Madras sauce has marinated the chicken, we're just going to basically put a lid on this, and then I'm going to put it in the oven on electric about 170, and we're going to put it in the oven for about 2 hours. By doing this, it'll ensure that the chicken's thoroughly cooked and it'll be nice and soft so it just falls off the bone. We'll probably give it a stir every 30 minutes, but basically the rest of the cooking will be in the oven. So basically, as I said, I've put the Madras sauce onto the chicken pieces now. I'm going to cover it with the lid, and I'm just going to let that marinate maybe for a couple of hours here, and then I'll put it in the fridge, and I'm going to let this marinate overnight. So when we come back, it'll be ready for the oven. Okay, thanks. Hi everyone, welcome back. So the curry has been in the fridge overnight, marinating. I took it out of the fridge about an hour ago, just to let it get to room temperature. I've now put the oven onto, now mine's an electric Celsius, I've put it onto about 170. I'm not using fan assist, it's there if you need it, but I'm not using it. I want it to cook through nice and slowly. Now, as I said, maybe not 2 hours, 1.5 to 2 hours in the oven. And after maybe 40 minutes, 30-40 minutes, I'm going to take it out of the oven, and I'm going to just turn the chicken over, give it a little bit of a stir, and back in again. So as you can see here, the chicken is in the casserole dish. Take the lid off. Now this is the bit that always reminds me of when I was a little boy, and my mum used to make me chicken Madras or vindaloo. This was my first introduction to curries, really. And I don't know for those of you that remember, but there used to be a company called Madras. And my mum used to just put the bare chicken in the casserole dish, open the can of Madras, pour it on, and then in the oven, similar to this, and it was delicious. I think they went out of business, or they got taken over by a company whose name begins with P. I'm not going to mention it because I might defame myself, but wasn't half as good as Madras. But as far as I'm aware, Madras aren't in business anymore. Please, you tell me if you know otherwise. So, here's the curry. I'm going to put the lid back on. So for most of the cooking stage, I'm going to keep this lid on. Later on, I'll take the lid off for the last half hour. Also, we need, now I don't mean to sound like a left-wing PC nanny, but remember your gloves, because obviously the casserole dish gets extremely hot. Please forgive me if I'm talking to you like you're a child, but it's just, you know, I thought I might as well mention it. So when I take this out in about 30 or 40 minutes, I'll be using my gloves. Giving it a quick stir with this, and I'll be turning the chicken over with that. Okay, so let's put it in the oven. Start off as we need to go on. So I'm going to do this quite quickly so we don't lose a lot of heat in the oven. I'm halfway down with the lid on, middle of the oven, straight back in. Now I'm not going to touch that now for about 40 minutes, 30 to 40 minutes, where I'll take it out, turn the chicken pieces over, and give it a bit of a stir. So, see you in 40 minutes. Okay, so it's done its first 40 minutes now in the oven. I've taken it out. I'm going to take the lid off. Careful of that steam. So it started cooking already, as you can see. First of all, I've been careful not to splash. I'm just going to turn these chicken pieces around now. As you can see, they seem to be cooking quite nicely. Just play around with them a bit, turn them round. Move them about a bit. There we go. Give it a bit of a stir. And I'm just going to move that bit of curry there. Just going to move it round. Let the curry start moving a bit. As you can see, there's not, because there's 3 portions in here, there's not that much space, but that's not a problem. As long as you can move the curry around so it can spread around. As long as you move those chicken pieces, get a bit of the caramelization off the side. But as you can see, just getting to the bubbling stage now, so it's starting to cook really well. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just wipe that spoon a little bit. I'm going to put the lid back on with my gloves. Like so. Then the chicken curry is going to go back in for another 40 minutes, and I'll do exactly the same again in another 40 minutes. So I'll see you now at the end result. I'm going to show you the end result about 1 hour 45 minutes. So I'm going to do this one more time in 40 minutes, which I won't show you. I'll show you next the end result when it comes out of the oven. So I'll see you in about 1 hour 20 minutes, I suppose. See you soon. Okay, 2 hours later, and the finished product. Careful removing that lid. Okay, now let's go straight in there. Let's have this piece here. Remember, there's 3 portions here, which we don't need. I'm going to put it with some rice. Now remember, this is still quite loose, this curry consistency. If you like it thicker, then by all means take the lid off for the last 30 or 40 minutes. Okay, we'll leave that there now. Let's add a bit of garnish. Which is coriander. And there you have it, chicken madras on the bone. So let's have a try of this, shall we? So I promised it'd be fall off the bone, so let's have a look if it does just that. Okay, here we go. Does that fall off the bone, or does that fall off the bone? Look at that. But let's just try a little bit of this now. A bit of chicken there with the skin and the rice. Okay, here it goes. And we need to go in again. So a bit more chicken. Just look at that, literally falls off the bone. Bit of rice, curry. That is beautiful. Just look at it. Off the bone. All you gotta do is touch it and it comes straight off the bone. So, chicken madras on the bone. Hope you enjoy. Thanks.